Good morning to everybody and leaving California world. This is our Money Matters show. Today actually happens to be Veterans Day. The markets, the banks and everything is closed today, but I wanted to send out a special shout out to our veterans. I'm a veteran. I served in the Air Force for 4 years, and we've got quite a bit of news today, and I'm excited. So good morning, Terry. How are you?
Doing great, David. I regret that I didn't serve our armed forces. I decided to work at Disney World instead, so I'm only a veteran of the mouse. That's where I chose to go. I do wish I'd served in the armed forces. I think it would have been great to serve our country, but at 18 years old, I wanted to go work for Mickey Mouse. But I do appreciate our veterans. I have several family members who are veterans.
I think it was like a military operation back then. They used to say that it was the happiest place on earth and it was the cleanest place on earth. Monty, good morning to you. Good to see you. And what's going on in your world?
Well, I'm not a veteran either, but my brother-in-law is. He's an officer in the U.S. Army, just got stationed at Fort Knox with my little sister and their kids. And so grateful for them, grateful for all of our veterans. I did spend a long time overseas, about 12 years. And so I can at least appreciate living overseas and seeing the U.S. from outside and how great it is to come home and to appreciate what we do have, the freedoms that are afforded us by our veterans. So, yeah.
Well, Monty, it's interesting, and we kind of put a timestamp on this webinar or this podcast today. And the thing is if you know today's Veterans Day, then you know we're about a week out from the election. The election results are in, and I already see things changing, and I don't really know what that means. So let's go ahead and dive right in, Monty. What's going on with changes? I just feel changes are happening. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, stocks and mortgage bonds were mixed last week after the election. There was some positive movement there, but still, it was a little bit up and down. It wasn't just down. We didn't just see rates start going down. I do believe the consensus is that Trump will be really good for the economy. He will get inflation down. He will make sure interest rates go down. He is a capitalist, and that will be a positive thing for real estate and lending. There will be good news in the future. However, it wasn't an immediate turn. We did see that the Fed cut the Fed funds rate again. Have been talking about this now for 6 weeks. They did it on September the 18th, and then they did it Thursday of this past week. Now, the Thursday of this past week, they cut it by 25 basis points. They cut it by 50 basis points in September. And so that now puts us in a target range of 4.5% to 4.75%. The effective funds rate, the effective Fed funds rate is 4.6. There we go. So that does not mean that the interest rates are 4.625. That just means that the Fed funds rate is that. So that decision to cut the additional 25 basis points instead of pausing was unanimous. And that showed confidence from the Fed in their dual mandate to keep going in the direction that we set off in September. Even Bowman was in favor of that, which kind of surprised a lot of people. She was the first dissenter in 19 years on the previous 50 basis point rate cut in September. And so the statement that showed that the Fed sees job gains, that statement shows that they see those job gains have slowed. They're admitting that. We've seen that. I think the three of us talk about that even when the reports come out and they say jobs are going up. Seems like the Fed is noticing that is slowing down. They still feel the economy is growing at a solid pace, meaning they can avoid recession. We'll see. In Powell's press conference, he addressed concerns that progress on inflation was stalling by citing the 3 and 6 month run rates of 2.32% and 2.28% respectively. He went on to acknowledge that substantial lag in shelter inflation, the low replacement figures in the upcoming inflation reports, which won't derail the Fed's course, that they're continuing ahead with what they set out to do. He did note that the good year-over-year progress will be made in February when we receive January's inflation reading, where we'll be replacing that 0.5% reading. So following the Q&A, the market did begin pricing in a 70% chance of an additional rate cut in December, then with a pause coming in January. But there's still a lot of economic data coming out between now and then, so we'll just have to see, especially with the market closed today. There's nothing today to report. This week we get mortgage applications and we get initial job claims. So we'll see. It should be an interesting week, but we're moving in the right direction.
Well, it's interesting, and thank you so much. That's a lot of information, and I know that it's a lot to take in. So if you're thinking about leaving California, you really need to give Monty a call, and he can go over all of the facts. But it sounds positive. I mean, and I feel a positive energy. I started our show off today with feeling like there's a lot of positive energy. A lot of people are thinking that things are changing for the good. And by the way, Terry, you told me that you didn't serve the country and you wish you had, but you kind of did serve last week, and you were serving in the election. And so we appreciate your service for that. That was a long day. What are your thoughts about the election, and what's 2025 going to look like for our leading California members?
Well, David, as you and I said for our previous video, which talked about our predictions for the election based upon who won, I firmly believe that California, and Gavin Newsom's already showing us this, they're going to double down on all of the policies to show the world that Trump's policies are not correct. So they're already threatening lawsuits, calling a special session, just so they can come in and save money so they can start suing the federal government months before Trump is even in office. The thing I want to talk about is the treasuries the yields have risen, right? Which means the bonds have dropped. I think I've got that right. I know it's the inverse. But the thing to remember, I'm old enough to easily remember Ronald Reagan when he came into office. We had the same thing happen. Interest rates went higher and higher. I believe I've got this right, when Ronald Reagan first came into office. However, there was a tremendous drop in interest rates as his term continued. The thing that I would focus on is I believe a lot of people, a lot more than before, are going to be looking to leave California. If you're going to wait until interest rates drop, that means you're going to be paying a lot more for the house that you're looking at in Tennessee or Georgia or Florida, these free states. And I'm calling them free states. I'm sorry. California has not been a free state for a long time. Buy your house now, buy your house in the near future, while everyone's perceiving that the market is tanking or that the real estate market is not the place to be. I'm telling you, just as Monty has said many times, as Warren Buffett has said many times, now is the time to look to buy, because you can refinance that 6.5% or 7% interest rate. A lot of home builders will buy down your interest rate to where you've got a lower interest rate for a couple of years. There is a great opportunity now, because I can tell you right now, look at what the CARB board did last week. The board in California that said, oh no, our gas isn't clean enough. We want zero gas. They even said it. We want zero fossil fuels in this state. Therefore, we're going to implement even stricter policies, which they anticipate will raise the price of gas in 2025 by another 45 to 65 cents a gallon. I'm telling you, folks, they're doubling down. They're doubling down, and you just need to get out. It's not going to change in California. As much as we love Donald Trump, it's not going to change in the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Well, Monty, it looks like I got Terry started. I have to be careful when we talk about California politics, but I got him started. And by the way, everybody, I had posted, there was so many comments, and we appreciate your comments. I mean, we would prefer that you wouldn't be so negative, but I mean, we just want your honest feedback. So I had said, and there was some rumors that Kamala might actually be coming back to California to become the governor. And a lot of you guys posted about that. And we just believe that they are doubling down. They're having this special session, and it's a mess. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of people leaving in 2025. Monty, what is your advice to all of our members that are thinking about 2025 is I'm leaving California and I want to be welcome to America? Go ahead, Monty, take it away.
Yeah, I would tell you nothing has changed from last week to this week. Truly, nothing has changed in your family, more than likely. Nothing has changed in your church. That was the big message yesterday. The sermon was for any of you that believe in God, that's where your allegiance is. Nothing changed. No matter who got elected, you are still you, and God is still in control. So you are still considering leaving, regardless of who the president is, you need to talk to us. We need to discuss what the numbers are because the numbers haven't changed. If anything, it's become now more important to do this now before, as Terry said, prices go up. Because one thing we do know is Donald Trump is a good businessman. You may not like him. He's not coming to live with you, so it's going to be okay. But he is good at running a business, a profitable business. So I believe he will run a very profitable business. And in so doing, the real estate market will be strong. And that means now is the time. It's a perfect time to see what would the numbers look like. How would you move to one of those other places, free states, as Terry called them? You won't know unless you look. So let's have that discussion and let's see if we can start the next chapter of your life. And then, yeah, you might as well experience the good that others are having outside of California right now.
Terry, what do you want to add to that?
Well, for those who don't think that Kamala Harris can be elected governor of California, I just looked at the latest map. 7.2 million Californians thought she'd make a great president. Why would they not? And only 4.2 million voted for Trump in California. Why would they say, oh, she'd make a great president, but I'm not going to vote for her for governor? Don't underestimate the power of the press and the machine in California that can elect, and the unions. Oh my gosh. If she gets the unions on her side, she is governor. Don't worry about it. They determine who the governor is anyway. How do you like that, California? How's that for a free state? Your unions decide who the governor of California is, not you. I love that. Boy, do I miss California.
Boy, Terry, I just had a thought, and I don't know why. I just was looking at my calendar on the wall, and 2 weeks from Thursday is Thanksgiving. So I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving with your families. And I think now, Terry, are we allowed to say Merry Christmas, everyone?
How dare you? How dare you insult the Aborigines in Australia who don't even know what Christmas is?
No, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Terry.
That's fine, David. Go ahead. I'll let the maybe the FBI won't have time to raid your house before Trump gets into office. We'll hope that you can say that. I'm sure we can say that after January 20th. Next year, but before then, just be careful. We don't want anybody to come knocking on your door at 6 a.m.
And Monty, what do you have to say for closing today? It's been a fun show for sure. And see, I think that our listeners now can see that our demeanor has changed. It's not stressful anymore. The decision's been made. Let's move on. Let's make changes. Let's live a happy, peaceful life. Monty, anything else you want to add in closing?
I'll just say we care about you. We want to know you. And so please reach out, tell us your story, and let us use that to inspire other people.
When I call the rest of the country, or the South, especially free states, yeah, you have to understand, under Donald Trump, these states are going to thrive. California is going to double down on all of their environmental policies, all of their regulations, all of their taxes. They're going to double down. I'm telling you right now, they think that those policies work, and they're going to try and show the world that they work. If you want a higher cost of living, higher food prices, higher gas prices, more regulation, stay in California. And if you love it, God bless you. But if you want to move to a place where you can thrive over the next 4 years and God willing, the next 12 years, move to a different place. Talk to Monty, talk to David, talk to me. Let us help you get the heck out of California and not look back 5 years from now and say, oh my gosh, we should have moved a long time ago. I'm telling you, there isn't a person out there that David and I talked to and Monty on our Southern tour who had left California. You know what was their words, David? What did they say when we asked them if they regret leaving?
I wish I would have done it sooner.
Exactly. Don't have that regret.
Terry, you forgot the T word.
Trombone?
Tax.
Oh, tax. Well, of course. Yes, you're right. Yes.
More taxes. Anyway, from the Money Matters show, we're wishing you happy holidays a little early. And if you want, as a holiday gift from me and Monty, we're going to give you guys and Terry our Leaving California handbook. It'll help you escape. And we're offering free consultations. So if you want to just talk to us for free and get as much free information as you can, because as Monty says, the more information you have, the better you're going to make your move. So get with us soon, and I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.